It started with a casual introduction. This is Peipei. We've known each other since we were 10. You've been dating your boyfriend Xiaoyu for exactly 3 months now. Not long enough to feel secure, just long enough to feel serious. And tonight, you're finally meeting the inner circle for dinner. You've put in the extra effort. The hair, the makeup, your favorite dress. You're ready for the introductions. And you really want this one to go well. Xiaoyu is attentive. His friends joke about how he punched above his weight. Peipei is right in the middle of it, laughing, nodding along, making it easy to forget this is your first time meeting her. Toward the end of the night, she leans over, phone in hand, asks to scan your QR code. You see her profile, minimalist, clean. You think, she's genuine? We could actually be friends. But then, you post a photo, just a simple one, a happy shot of you and your boyfriend. You don't expect anything to come of it. Your phone buzzes. It's a private message from Peipei. She starts with a line that feels like a joke. I have no idea how you two even ended up together. You smile, still in that pink bubble face. You assume a compliment is coming. You're typing to reply when the next message lands. I honestly feel like Xiaoyu wouldn't look at someone like you. You don't really match his level. I truly don't understand why he settled. You stop typing. You read again, puzzled. And that's when it begins. Not an argument, nor a confrontation. Just something quieter and harder to name. This is where the status humiliation begins. The green tea friend who uses a mask of brutal honesty to dismantle your confidence before you've even reached your first anniversary. And when something happens often enough, it stops being just personal. People start giving it a name. Welcome to the show, I'm Liam. And here on The Glitch in the Room, we look at relationships through the lens of red, sharing the stories and signals that reveal what modern dating culture really looks like. So just sit back, relax, and make yourselves comfortable. Today's archetype has a name, the lucha, or green tea. And no, it's not a drink. It's what people call a certain type of girl. She hides behind a mask called harmless. She seems gentle, low maintenance, the kind of person who never looks like a threat. But underneath that softness is something sharper. A green tea girl doesn't rise by standing taller. She elevates herself by belittling others. She weaponizes weakness as a cover for her motives. And when the damage is done, she counters with, I didn't mean it, as her ultimate defense. That leaves you wondering, maybe I'm just overthinking. Most green tea girls don't reveal themselves in public. So why do they surface time and time again? Because on red, she becomes a character, a warning, a meme. She drowns you in self-doubt, makes you feel like a guest in your own relationship. Most people run when they see one. But sometimes, the most damaging person in a room isn't the loudest. It's the one who looks like the least threatening. Let's get back to the story. After the dinner, life goes back to normal. And Peipei is still there. You start seeing her more often, sometimes in groups, sometimes alone. She begins to change her strategy. She doesn't talk about you anymore. She talks about him. It happens at a friend's place, a small get-together. Peipei arrives late. She sits down, doesn't take a drink, her voice quieter than usual. Someone asks if she is okay. She smiles and says, I'm fine, just a little bit overwhelmed. Xiaoyu looks at her. You sure? She nods, then hesitates. I didn't want to say anything. I'm probably just being sensitive. No one responds. Everyone waits. She looks at him. You've been under a lot of pressure lately. I just worry you don't always get the space you need. The room shifts. Someone says, she's just looking out for you. Another adds, she's always been like that. Very caring. You open your mouth, then close it. Because suddenly, anything you say sounds like an argument. Later, she decides to stand by the door, putting on her coat. People tell her to rest. Xiaoyu walks her downstairs. You stay behind. That night, your phone lights up. Messages come firing from her. I hope I didn't make things awkward today. I really didn't mean to say anything wrong. I just care about him. You stare at the screen. You type, delete, type again. Finally, you send one line. You tell her how it felt, how the room changed, how small you felt. Her reply comes fast. I'm sorry you took it that way. That wasn't really my intention. Then, another message. I'm just telling the truth. You don't reply. A few seconds pass. She adds, I didn't mean it. And that's when you realize nothing she did looked like an attack. But somehow, you're replaying the night over and over again. And this is the image I want to leave you with. You, staring at the phone, rereading her messages. I'm just telling the truth. I didn't mean it. And it's right here, in moments like this, that stories on red start to sound like warnings. Now, let's see what people have to say. This isn't confusion, this is classic green tea behavior. The second she said, I didn't mean it, she already exposed herself. Girl, this isn't concern, she's stepping on you. You could hear the certainty in these comments. People don't actually debate, they are united. Someone else adds, the worst part isn't what she said, it's that everyone rushed to protect her and left you standing there alone. This was how I broke up with my ex. The comment below says, it's good that you broke up. If he can't even stand by your side, who knows who he will go to after marriage? This isn't an accident. This is strategy. She didn't mean it? No. She meant every word. She just didn't want the responsibility. More comments pour in. I had a friend exactly like this. She never attacked me directly. She just made everyone else question me. She'd message my boyfriend when I wasn't around, just to check in, just to make sure he was okay. She'd tell me I was lucky to have him, then remind me how many girls liked him, in the same sentence. The stories pile up. Different faces, same pattern, similar lines. And what's striking isn't what people argue about, it's what they don't. There isn't much debate in these posts, just recognition. People don't argue about whether someone is a green tea girl. They just say it, like a quiet warning. What stands out in the community's response isn't anger, but certainty. People aren't asking whether this is green tea behavior. They recognize it as a pattern they've seen before, and the caution that comes with it. What unsettles people isn't just the behavior, it's how hard it is to name. The moment you speak up, you risk sounding dramatic. The moment you react, you become the problem. Over time, that pressure doesn't just silence you, it makes you question your own perception. That's why so many of these stories sound the same, even when the details differ. Nothing is overt, everything is framed as kindness, concern, or a misunderstanding. But the emotional impact lands on the same person, the one who saw the glitch. At some point, green tea stops working as an insult and becomes a label, a way to name situations where politeness blurs boundaries, where intent is always debatable, and where it's difficult to point to anything concrete without sounding unreasonable. And maybe that's the real discomfort these stories surface. Not the presence of manipulation, but how easy it is to dismiss it when it quietly arrives.